Hello church, thank you so much for joining us again. The title of today's message is Lockdown with Paul, Part 2. Now if you remember yesterday's word, you will recall that I shared that God had given Paul this wonderful promise that he was going to go to Rome, and in Rome Paul was going to preach the gospel. In Acts chapter 27, Paul is now out of prison and he's going to Rome for his trial. Now the incredible thing is that when Paul was on his way to Rome, he was in a ship. There was 276 people, and disaster struck because there was a storm, there was shipwreck, and it was so bad that the people on the ship didn't eat for 2 weeks. Now that's when you know that you've got seasick and there's a bad storm. And there's a really interesting verse in Acts chapter 27 which shows us how bad the storm got. It says in Acts chapter 27 verse 20, we finally gave up all hope of being saved. That is what Luke wrote. I just want you to think about that. God was going to take Paul to Rome to preach the gospel. He'd already promised him that, but on the way, first of all, he ends up in a prison in Jerusalem. Now he ends up in lockdown in a ship with, there's 276 people. People are hungry, people are feeling sick, people are thinking they're going to die, and yet God had spoken a promise over Paul's life, and that was that he was going to go to Rome. Church, God is committed to fulfilling his word. Remember the promises that God has spoken over your life. Remember the prophetic words that God has spoken over your life, because he will take you to Rome in the same way that he took Paul to Rome. What is the Rome that God is going to take you to? Have a great day, church, and remember, lockdown with Paul, he was locked up in a ship. Everyone else gave up all hope of being saved, but Paul knew that God would take him to his destiny. Bless you, bye.